Hello, everyone. Welcome to Beyond Life Paranormal Research Podcast. I'm your host, Russell Reynolds. We got a good show tonight. My guest is running a little late, and she will be here. My guest tonight is Katie Stafford, one of the owners of Supernatural Inc. She's also a historian and the backbone behind Supernatural Inc. with all us podcasters helping us with our stuff, our merch. Um, like I said, she's running a little bit late. Tonight, we're going to talk about equipment that Supernatural Inc. makes. She's supposed to be bringing an array of equipment, and one piece of equipment that people haven't seen before. Myself, I've seen it already. And
You
without
say?
further ado, here she is.
Oh, 1 second. It says my browser has lost. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you good.
Okay, Katie bought me this Dremel for Christmas. I'm trying to get it to fix right. It's not working. There it goes. Hey, yeah, it's working. Oh. Sorry about that.
That's all right. I've already introduced you, and
There we go. Sorry, I'm just trying to get used to this new little technical thing Katie got me for my birthdays. What's up, Kim? Paranormal Rock Down, Kara Garcia. Kira, what's up, my girl? Oh my goodness.
they're all coming in.
Yeah. It's a good day today.
Yeah, you bring the crowd with you.
Well, all 6 of them. That's great. That's better than 0, right?
Oh, my dad's even watching too.
Oh, hey, Poppy.
So, yeah, I told him a little bit about. We were going to talk about equipment tonight that Supernatural Inc. makes, and
Yeah. Yeah. So, oh, I did want to talk about because it kind of came up on Julie's podcast about the guest that she had on last Sunday. I brought up the sick box, and he gave a great explanation. The guest did of what a sick box is. Well, I have a really crazy story. If you want me to,
yeah.
So there was it's Detroit Paranormal. I don't. He won it on auction or bought it on eBay or something like that. And hey, Julie, and anyways, when we were in our warehouse at the time, I'm wrapped. It wasn't. I didn't take it out of the box yet. Well, we had people working. We shared the space. It was shared space with a gentleman who did like crypto stuff and machines, and right behind him, because we had a shelving unit, and then I had like some stuff that had to be built and whatnot. So, but the sick box was there. It was still in the box, and everything was fine for several days. Well, I unwrapped it, and I pulled it out. I was like, this is so interesting. And anyway, so I set it, back on the shelf out of its box. Well, over time, the other people that worked in the warehouse, and mind you, these people that are atheists, agnostic, what have you, they all started feeling nauseous, really bad headaches, some fatigue, like their equilibrium was off. And me and Brandon, didn't realize at the time, we started noticing a pattern. It was like right around a certain area. And one day, a good friend of mine, her name is Beth Reed, her son came in to pick up his custom boutique box at the warehouse. He comes in and he gets like right around the area where that sick box is. And by this point, Katie has already started like working on it. And Katie takes very great concern and pride, and he's very, I don't want to say delicate, I don't know if that's the correct term, but he's very delicate and intricate with his builds. And if he's not in a good mood, he'll set the box aside. I've noticed this about him. I mean, he may say different, I don't know, but I've noticed that. So her son, he walks in, he went right to the shelf. He says, "That's got to go. It's I'm sick." I said, What are you talking about?" He goes, "Whatever that is over there, pretty sure it's a sick box, and is Katie making a ghost box out of it?" I said, "Yes, he is." And he goes, because he's Catholic, and
Mm.
he goes, "Yeah, because I feel real sick." He goes, I can't even like stand in here." So he ultimately he went outside, and I picked up this sick box, and I'm weird. I love on things because I believe of energy transfer,
Right.
and I believe, kind of like how you walk into a room and you can kind of feel like if somebody had like a brawl out fight, and you
Mhm.
can kind of walk in and kind of I don't know if it's just like the people or it's just the room, but they've done several studies on where does our energy go, like where's our vibration go. And so long story short, once Katie got done building this box, it is so weird. When Detroit Paranormal received it, um, and that box told me, because I test all the boxes, it told me it would never lie. And I was like, well, some people just can't handle the truth all the time. And well, there's nothing wrong with that telling the truth. If they can't handle the truth, then
Right.
But yeah, that box, I have video on it that they sent. That I believe they used it down in Savannah, Georgia, with psychic medium Brandy Marie, but she's great. I love her. She's wonderful, and she just they this all found it very interesting that it would not. The box wouldn't lie. It would tell you once you would ask a question, and if there was something there, it would even start talking about the user, the person using it. It was just interesting how the box would make people like their equilibrium would be off. And KD's working on the box, and I asked him.
Mhm.
I said, everybody in the building has told you and I that they are feeling sick around, not sick, but just they don't feel like themselves. They get a bad headache, and like even one of the people that was working there said, well, maybe it could be mold. So, or the air quality isn't good. Even
Right.
brought out this massive air quality cleaner thing, and I was like, dude, I have the carbon monoxide detectors, I've got gas leak, I have all of that. We're paranormal researchers. So I said it all out, and there was nothing like that. But uh, he did realize that after the box was gone, he didn't feel like that anymore, and he was just dubbed it off as coincidental. Maybe it was coincidental, but hey, what can I say? But I just found that interesting because certain objects, well, this, it carries energy. That's where
Yep.
the term of haunted um, objects come from. So what is Julie? She says, "Do you feel like the box had a death attachment that came to be as someone received last rites?" Julie, yes, I do. It did tell me his name, which is very unusual. Very rarely, if it's something malevolent or something that um, is not so good, like if they were not so nice in their
Mhm.
flesh, then they probably aren't in depth. But then there's other things that we can't see that are a little bit higher level, and I believe that we don't really encounter those higher level ones quite as often. But yes, most certainly, Julie, I do believe it seemed like it was kind of like bipolar, but it had a main spirit that would communicate. And it was what it says, I will never lie. And I don't know why I found that to be so profound. It gives me chills, like just thinking about it. It's like I will never lie. I was like, whoa, just blew my mind. And I would love on this box, man. I'd carry around. Oh, but anyways, so that's sad about the sick box because KD's turned all kinds of things into whatever people. He's gotten some weird requests on boxes, and the sick box was definitely a very interesting one for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, he definitely makes some weird boxes. I've seen some of the ones that he's made that he's had at Paracon. The Pelican
Yeah.
Space box and then the karaoke machine box that he's made.
Oh yeah. Yeah. And what I like is that he uses various different. I don't know if this is a correct term. Tonal tonal frequency changes.
Mhm.
Like for instance, this box here. So like this box was for sale until I confiscated it, and there's only one, and it has like that different tone change on it. And
Mhm.
yes, it's in an original ink box enclosure in this particular radio. And so I'll turn the volume down, but watch I haven't blasted, but so back here in the back, you see it'll change tonal sounds. Sorry. Oh, I turned it all the way up. My bad. But yeah, no, I mean, it's got different tonal sounds to it. It's freaking awesome. Perfect. Yes, you are. Anyways, I've used this box at the in several places, but I used it at the villa, and normally I get a lot up in the attic. And so, did you have you been to the McIntyre Villa?
Never been there yet.
Well, so there was a group of people, and I wish I remembered what their group was. I think it was like not. Sorry, I'm just trying to prop this thing up here because it's too low. But I was trying to. I think it's like nocturnal something paranormal.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I've heard of them.
Yeah. So I don't know if any of y'all have experienced like a mirror jumper. I call them mirror jumpers, and I've experienced maybe a handful of mirror jumpers. And so this group, fabulous theory, by the way. What they did was they set up all those mirrors up there in the attic,
Mm,
and so if you read back in uh, the old times, like Moses and Solomon time,
right.
like that, it talks about um, northeast, south, and west, and it tells you what, and especially different planetary alignments. I don't know squat about astrology, but I know a tidbit. If anybody wants to know about astrology and moon cycles and stuff like that, Brandy Marie and Julie and all that, they all know about that stuff, really good at it. Well, this goes in great depth of I have the paper, but anyways, it was talking about you want to set mirrors and ground yourself towards the east.
Mm,
And it dawned on me all of a sudden. I don't know where it just popped in my mind, as crazy squirrel mind I am. I texted her, I'm like, hey, were those mirrors facing east? Because if they were, um, that is generally, I don't know if anybody knows what I'm talking about in the feed, but I'm sure some of them might know what I'm talking about.
mm,
But anyways, you know, I'm still waiting on her. It was late last night when I texted her. That's because they're pointing to the east. If you want to ground yourself towards the east, Julie says yes. Portals that, when placed in certain positions, can unlock all or lock all traps. Yes, yes. Oh, I got chills. Oh my freaking god, man. Let me tell you. Oh man. So she pit. So on the second level of the McIntyre Villa, if Mrs. Katie sees an apparition, that thing's real.
Mhm.
I don't see things. And even if I'm sleep deprived, okay, I just don't. If I see something, it is either somebody's messing with me, it's a hologram, or it's for real. And I saw an apparition 2 years ago after I wore the ghost helmet, and I didn't put two and two together. But and then we're in the hallway to the left. There's a window there, upstairs on the second floor to the left as you're standing on the landing. There's a mirror that she put a mirror there, and that was the area where the curtains puffed out and like was almost like wrapping around me.
Mhm.
And of course I'm like, I don't know why you think you could just touch me like woo, because I get frustrated because I'm like, I don't know what. And through the ghost box it said I didn't, like, it didn't touch me personally, but the curtains did. I guess that's what it was meaning. I got a video of all this. She's got like 20 cameras in there, okay? And so I noticed she had put a mirror there. So, and it is on the, because upstairs in the attic, it's on the same side of the building,
Mhm.
right? So I still need to know if it's on the east side because when, after those mirrors were removed is when I saw that apparition because they literally took those mirrors down the day before I came there. And it was on a Wednesday night. And it was very quiet at first. But then I don't know what happened. It could just be the certain person. I don't know, man. But yeah, so I just wanted to bring that up too because like Julie said and others have said, Carol Garcia said, I just heard someone knocking. Oh, yeah, KD's in here because I was going to go to our office and I noticed when I was on Greg's podcast, my camera was lagging. So I have, well, first off, I don't like the camera and I have another one. So I just had to, just fix some stuff. So I decided I couldn't do it in my office upstairs. So I came down here. So it could have been KD. Um, Sun rises in east. That's why we use east. Yes, yeah, for grounding purposes. But it's weird because if you want to get on a scriptural biblical level, it says like the morning time is the time that the devil. That's like his favorite time of day
Yep.
is the morning time. So I find that very interesting. So it would be active, and then it'd be like if you want to kind of like depending on how you believe. And I love it how people have various techniques, and that's what you want. People should all have various techniques
Yep.
when they investigate because if you're going, that's one thing we do have on the scientists and what have you is even though we should replicate the way that they conduct their research on something and they have peer review, they write down everything. That's what I write down everything. If there's a storm in a 50-mile radius, even, okay,
Mhm.
I write down everything. And because I want peer review because maybe I missed something at a location that um, maybe it was something that was a pipe, water heater,
Right.
or you know what I'm saying? So maybe I missed something. And if I had peer review, if they had my notes, they could check out these areas and maybe, we can get rid of some of the stuff maybe that one had captured and they can't figure out. They marked it as unknown. Do you see where I'm going with this?
Mhm.
Instead of groups, uh, I see a lot of, not so nice things spoken about people. And that's cool. It's like, well, hand over your freaking notes and let them go, man. We need peer
Right.
review, and it's one thing if somebody's just not being truthful. I'm just saying, science will never believe in religion or the paranormal, but at least we would conduct ourselves in a manner that they do.
Yep.
So Katie or Russell, have either of you ever done sun gazing? Um, I have not. Now, I don't know about you, Russell.
No,
Have
I
you ever?
haven't done it either.
So what tech? So there now, depending on what culture, they call it different things. So I don't know exactly how you sun gaze, and uh, in my mind, when because I just do what I want, whatever speaks to me, which is the Holy Spirit, tells me I got to go on the porch, and I need to, and it's weird because sometimes it's normally at a certain time. And it happens about once a month, and I just got to get in the sun. And you can use various different crystals and various different things. Healthy skepticism and good peer review makes for successful investigations. Yes, Kim, exactly right. It does. And I'm completely fine with someone saying, well, did you know that the owners, you know, like, I mean, the owners may have, now I know like the museum that me and Katie helped preserve does not have an upgraded energy meter. He refused. Well, because it's a historic site, so he didn't have to get one. And yes, she says for sun gazing, early morning or late evening, I usually hear to go out. See, and that's what you want to listen to. You want to listen to what your body is telling you and what your soul is telling you to do, and it's different for everyone. And it's very interesting that she says that, because that's exactly how that works.
Hmm.
Have seen some beauty. Yes. I mean, I don't even want to say some of the things that I've seen, but that's for another show. But anyways, so but yeah, I get nervous on podcasts, so
Oh, you're doing good.
so you have to ask me some questions, or I'll just start talking randomly and not make any sense. Oh, look, I'm wearing your shirt.
I saw that.
Yeah, it's backwards because my camera is backwards. So, guys, if y'all want branded material by any of our podcasters, I'm almost done with the website, and you can click on their picture, and it'll have their line of stuff up there. And so that's why I was wearing his shirt tonight, so you guys can see one of the designs that we have. And this is it's a pullover hoodie. So I did wash it, but then I put it on. So yeah, your girlfriend might get mad if it smells like perfume, but it'll be okay. Yeah. Oh man, it's so comfortable too. And uh, our merch is, yes, yeah. I've worked really hard on everybody's merch, and I just got a couple more things. I did your keychains and stuff, and I done the hoodie and the T-shirt, but it has like your team
Hmm.
logo on there, and I did mug like samples for you to look at and tell me if
Okay.
those, yeah. And anytime people who have bought hoodies like from Kier Coffin, because she's my partner, um, business partner, when it, she's a great designer, and if anybody has received anything either from her or myself, my trademark is I always put wooden beads on the strings, and I've always done that even just for my own hoodies. Sometimes I might put like glass, because you don't want it to, you know you don't want to put like some kind of metal or something on there. And
Mm.
you can, but I just wanted something more natural. But the glass, I like the Czechoslovakia, Czech Republic, or what have you, is where I get my glass beads from, especially like the evil eye bead. I
Hmm.
get them from there. I do get the 7 knotted red bracelets. They're silk, and those also are worn not as some people look at it as for protection from the evil glare, the evil eye, but in reality, it's really about your intentions, to be honest. But the real meaning is the seven knotted bracelet. It is silk. It's red. It could be dark blue or black. And you guys can look up the differences if you want. So it'll take me a minute to explain all that. But the seven knots, so if a knot ends up coming out of your bracelet, that means it deferred or redirected an evil glare. Okay. And they say to either throw it into running water, meaning like a river or stream, or bury it with good intentions, or just I just throw mine out with good intentions because I did throw one in, like it was kind of like a pond. It wasn't a lake. It was not big enough to be a lake. It's kind of like a pond, so there's fish. And I swear, a fish took that damn bracelet when I threw it in there. Oh my God. I was like, oh my God, I'll never do that again. I mean, all the craziness that was running through my mind when I saw that, I was like, oh my God, it's going to get stuck. Like, I just felt so bad. And then I got to thinking, oh, somebody had an evil glare on me and the fish hated it. I don't know what that means. Oh, Carol says, what did she say? I don't have my glasses. I can't
I
see.
was woken up this particular morning and I saw my three cats on a tree when the light of the sun directed to look in a certain direction.
What? What? When you were sun gazing? That's interesting, man.
I know everybody's anxious to see. I was kind of filling them in about KD's power glove.
Oh, I have it. I brought it from the shop because I have been testing playing around with it. KD can't hear me right now because he's playing video games. He's got headphones on, and he said that he wasn't quite ready to really like crap. Sorry, I got to go this way and down. I'm trying to get used to this thing that he bought me. There we go. I don't think I brought a. That's one thing I forgot to bring. So he has to finish. What the heck? There we go. So he's got to make a way for an enclosure because right now you put the 9 volt here, and you have to kind of like tuck it. And he put like Faraday type fabric, so it doesn't interfere with the battery, which because it's kind of like a K2 meter. He can explain it better than I can, but it does detect static as well. I've noticed. I'm just telling you things that I've noticed. I'll ask him later exactly what it detects because first I want to put it on, test it out, and I notate everything about a device when I test it. And he's been working on this for. I want to ask him, but he can't hear me. How long have you been working on this glove? He can't hear me. He has headphones on. But I don't know, maybe 5 or 6 years. It's been a long time. He was using, the Pit Boy. You know what the Pit Boy is?
Yep. Yep.
Well, I didn't. Yeah, I didn't know. I was like, Pit Boy, because Jack Osborne, believe it or not, wanted something similar to the Pit Boy. And that way he has like all of his stuff here and you can pull out whatever. And then also he could use it as a device himself. And, KD had, or he goes, what you mean? He said he didn't say he wanted a Pit Boy, but what he was describing sounded like a Pit Boy. And KD goes, you mean like this? He goes, yes, KD, like that. And I guess the producers at the time were just like, I don't think the world's ready for anything like that. but the glove though was kind of inspired by that whole idea.
Right.
And it, this is a second prototype, and it just looks. And your fingers here, I could put my hand in there. I'm sure there's a battery around. He's got the brainwave radio and sitting here. And there's only one other group, because the brainwave radio. So, like Carol Garcia was talking about the sun gazing, okay, and you have to get into a state of mind to be able to use the brainwave radio. Some people are good at, like Sarah Lemos tested out the brainwave radio. This was years ago, when we had an event with Cindy Kaza and Jessica Potter and Katie. It was a fundraising event, and she couldn't get the box to suite. And I don't know if it's because maybe she was nervous or what have you. She did have a bad headache. So it could be from, if you have a headache, might as well forget it. It's going to make it hard for you to focus.
Right.
So Mandy from the Ghost Sisters, they're the ones who has a brainwave radio. And I believe Austin has one of our prototypes that he had used on, dang, what was that show? Get brain farts now. I can't remember. He was using it on, what's the dude's name that used to be on Ghost Adventures?
Oh, Nick.
Nick Groff, yes. So a lot of the equipment that they use, that Nick Groff used and him and his wife used on his shows, was Austin's equipment. Some of Jay Prather's, Steve Holtay's, and Katie's equipment. And he used the brainwave radio on that show. And, I don't, and Mandy had noticed it. Actually, we did a huge demonstration at Ogway Village in Defiance, Ohio. If y'all ever get the chance to go there, contact Austin Maynard, and you can camp out there. You can bring your RV, set up a tent, overnight, $450, and there's like, I don't know, 30 something buildings out there. It's phenomenal. $450. I know it's a long ways from here, but it's well worth it. I promise. And we were in the World War I building, okay, and part of the building actually, some of the brick and whatnot, they actually placed on this building, okay, of an American fort or what have you. And then the inside has all they're preserving historical things that they use, like the old timey. They used to use these. It's like it looks like a string, but it's not. It's made out of precious metals. And how they would communicate during World War One is can't remember the name of this transmitting radio to save my freaking life at this moment. But anyways, they actually stopped using this form of communication because it was very hard to encrypt. But
Right.
when they would find the pilots, if they would crash, it was kind of like a black box, and they could bring the intelligence that was being reported on the ground. And because this fine metal that they used, they could record sound on. And ding, 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 my brain goes crazy. I'm like, wait a minute here. We won't get into that. But I know a couple people, particular one person who has several of these. He could hear me. I could ask him. But anyways, you guys could Google it. They didn't use it very long as far as transmitting sound, because it could get in the water and salt water. It would last for like 200 or 300 years. And I don't know that they just stopped. I don't know why they stopped using it. That's when they started doing the SOS, what do they call it? The beep, 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 beep. Help me out, guys.
The SOS type Morse code.
Yes, Morse code. Yes. Julie says Red Knot Kabbalah. Yes, that's correct. Julie said all cultures, even the Egyptian culture. I mean, the evil eye or the evil glare. It's in the Bible. It's not just in the Old Testament either. You can go in Book of Matthew, and it talks all about it. And it talks about generational curses, and it's been around for thousands of years. So I'm just saying, if it's wrong, then how can all the various different religions be wrong. I mean, they've been doing this for thousands of years. The Japanese, Filipinos. I mean, I'm just saying they all have their own little. Isn't that? If you think about it for a minute, my mind is about to. I'm about to blow my mind here. How in the hell they all understand this same thing, like this evil glare thing? 7 spells is Appalachia. Yes, Appalachia. Yes, exactly. So even the natives have their own deflection of the evil eye. It's fascinating. I mean, something had to tell them, right? Can't deny it. Once you start digging into this stuff, I don't know, man. It's. Thank you, Kim. Yeah, Morse code. Yeah. She says yes. They have all transitioned one after the other. They looked like they had wings on the tree. Yeah, so that was what Carol was sun gazing.
Yep.
And it's very interesting how the outdoors, and I have a special spot that I like to go to because I like running water, and running water does produce its own EMF if it's going fast enough. Okay.
Yep.
And I have another special place too. It's at a wood hinge that's actually it's submerged, and it's on the back. It's 10,000 years old, and they knew where the magnetic north is. And is it tonight that we got 4 or 5 planets that are lining up together? Is that tonight?
I think that's tonight. Yeah.
Because it would be so awesome if I could go live at midnight and take all y'all with me, and we go to the wood hinge because I have the archaeological report on this, and we did go out there when we had Venus. It was Venus, our Venus, Mars, and our moon a couple years ago lined up, and you could see it in the sky. And me and KD went out there, and we had lasers set up because we were using the theory of transmitting sound through light. And so that's what we did. We put the laser beams on the pillars of the wood hinge and was transmitting sound to the ghost box. Okay. Well, then of course a police officer, cop, comes down to the lake and sees all these. You can see it from the parking area, and he's scared to put Jesus out of KD. And I was like, oh, hell no, his cop ain't harassing my man. So I run up there. I'm like, sir, we got a problem. He goes, I want to see what y'all are doing. And I was like, huh? He goes, yeah, your husband was telling me that about the wood hinge and that, your historical study takes care of it. He goes, I didn't even know it was there. And I was like, dude, you didn't see this big, what you think the logs are sticking out of the ground from. So Carol said, yeah, the alignment is tonight. And Julie says the fish eating her bracelet was related to the Christianity. The fish is the living symbol of Christ and his followers. And yes, this is the accumulating point of all the planet alignments. Oh my God, bruh. Because the fish, because we're like a tree planted next to running water. God, with the 5. Okay, I'm blabbering now. You better ask me some questions, Russell, because it's gonna be crazy.
Let's talk about the reverse sweep ink.
Okay, the reverse ink box. Okay, here we go.
I know that.
Okay, so as you can see, this one is being built. It's being built. So I can't turn this one on because it's not done. KD, shit, he can't hear me. He does have his own reverse speech box. There, is that it? No, that ain't it. There's so many boxes. Is it over here? Oh, I found it. Found his box. So he's got let me turn the camera around, see if y'all can't see. He's got the Furby. He's got the Furby on there. So Austin, and sorry guys, I don't know what's going on here. This gimbal is being a little ridiculous. I'm sorry about that, guys. I'm trying to be as professional as possible. So sorry, Russell.
Oh, you're
Any, anyway, so Austin and KD had this idea. I thought I was going to have to call PETA on them. Just saying. I'll just leave it there because they're doing a lot of experiments on them Furbies. But this one right here calls me Mama. Yes, it does. But it told KD that it didn't like him and for him to die. And we lost him
wow.
for a long. KD threw him across the the basement room, and we couldn't find him for a couple of years. And then all of a sudden, KD found him. And oh, he's got some stuff. Okay, let me unplug that. He said that thing's evil, and it because the old ones in the 80s, you can turn them evil if you treat them bad.
Yeah.
And so he obviously was treating it bad. And it said, I hate you. I want you to die. And it had like his eyes were all pinched down. It was creepy, dude. Ooh. Anyways, let's get on to the reverse ink box here. So, all right. So basically, the reverse ink box is also the same radio that we use for the original ink box. Okay. Let's see if I can't turn my camera around. Yeah, it's working. It's working. Maybe. Ha! Can y'all see that? Can you see it?
I can see the top of it. There
Okay.
we go.
Let me. I'm trying to get used to this gimbal. Can you see it now?
Yep.
Okay, so let me point it down a little bit. Okay, so I'm gonna turn the radio on, right? And I put my antenna up for FM. It said I could have sworn it said Stafford, but that's the sweep adjust on it. But we can listen to it. This don't you dare mess up on me, camera. Said yep. Now this box is so Tim Lovejoy owns one of these. Kiera Coffin. There's several people that own one of these boxes. I believe Julie owns one too.
Yep.
There's a handful of people that own a reverse box of KD. This is all KD uses now, as far as ghost boxes go. KD's very particular on what he uses when he researches, but KD's really good at automatic drawing, and so he'll run this box as he's doing his automatic drawing, but he doesn't use any normal forward sweeping box, if that's the correct term. So it's basically Pig Latin. I could put a tape in here. Well, there is a tape in here. I'm sure he was recording, but if I put a music tape in here, it would play backwards. And Tim Lovejoy, if you go to oh my gosh, I can't remember his team name, but anyways, he has. Well, I have video. He's playing the Aerosmith song, a tape in there. It's all in reverse. But let me stop talking. I'll turn it up for you. I have it on AM, FM right now. So I just turned the sweep up pretty high on there. It's just it's very interesting how it sounds.
Oh yeah.
So fascinating. I don't like to communicate in my house. I'm sorry, guys. very weird about. I know Katie might, but sorry, I get distracted because I can hear things. It's so weird, so fascinating, this box. And he does make them with the with reverb and stuff like that. But this particular box, that's Katie's personal box, just has adjustable sweep on it, and it's one of my favorite boxes as well. I personally I use my MCOM a lot and the Inkbox S a lot. But I also use what I call the frequency box, but nobody else has one because nobody likes the tonal frequency sounds because it bothers them. I did a poll on the Supernatural Ink page, and people like clear sound that they don't like static. Most people don't like static. They're like a majority of people who did the poll. It was probably in the 85% of people said that they prefer to be able to hear everything out of the box. And I will tell you, I'm not going to say anybody's name. So we are investigating at this place in Ohio. I'm not going to say where it is. Hell, it was at Middle Point. Okay, Middle Point, Ohio. It was at the school there. There was some guy there for an event, and I know what he was doing. And this is like this is the same time that we were having the pandemic, okay? And at this time, they hadn't done any like lockdowns or anything like that, but everybody had to wear masks. And that was everything everybody was talking about at that time on the radio, on the TV, and all that. Well, this guy starts asking questions about COVID. And in my mind, I'm like, it's probably going to pick up radio because that's like the hottest topic. This hasn't been seen since polio time. So I was like, he's trying to dispute the theory of communication through ITC using a ghost box. Well, he asked the box, he says, so how many more deaths do you think we're going to have from COVID? Can you tell me about COVID, or can you say COVID? And I'm like, if that box says COVID, I'm going to lose my damn mind, because then that's just going to prove his point, right?
Yep.
Well, guess what the box said? And I'm not going to say the word. It said F-U, but it said the actual word.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh. And I said, you was trying to dispute the theory behind the radio frequencies, weren't you? And he goes, yeah, I was trying to prove a point that, you're just picking up radio, because that's all he would pick up. He thought in his mind, that's all he was picking up was radio. So the reverse ink box, though, go on ahead and try to disprove that. I mean, please do. Write it down. And because it's just fascinating that I've done so many sessions with a reverse ink box, and in my house, this damn box says my mom is there. And I was like, oh, hell no. And I ended the demo video right then and there, because I'm not going to sit up in here and talk up in my house at that moment. But
right.
What's up? Hey, Jim, I haven't seen you on here in a while. How are you doing? Jim Pfister, what's up? But see, Carol heard Stafford too. See, I heard Stafford as well come through the reverse box. And just this past week, I thought it was 5 people, but I looked, it was 3 people, sent me videos of, and they're not all the same boxes either, saying hello to the Staffords. Bizarre. And Kira sent me a video. She lives way on the West Coast. And I don't know how somebody up in Maine heard the same thing, sent me a video. I can't explain it. Can y'all explain it? It even said my real name. It said Catherine Stafford. And then the other 2 just said, hello, Staffords. That's weird to me. And there were different boxes, bro. Completely different. I have video. I don't know if I could put them on here, but it'd take me a minute because I already saved them. But I'll post them. I'll post them on the Facebook page.
Mhm.
But do you want me to turn the reverse box back on? Because we have like 10 more minutes, right?
There's nobody on after me, so I usually do go 2 hours.
2 hours.
Yeah, I've been doing 2 hour shows.
What? You've been doing 2 hour shows. Okay,
Oh,
well, I support you and all. I mean, I gotta get to work if you want your merch. I'm just saying.
you can cut it whenever you're ready. So you're the
Okay.
boss. So
No, I'm not. It's your show, not mine. So y'all want to see my personal look? So look at all these pretty little. Can y'all see all the pretty little boxes? Y'all see them? Can you see them, Russell?
yep.
So this box here, right here, is the original Necronomicon light, and this box actually was owned by. His name was Lester. He had passed away, and so his wife didn't know what to do with his paranormal gear because that was something that he did. And as you can see, there's so many people that signed his box. See,
Hmm.
somebody said Dybbuk. Oh, that's Jason from Ghost Hunters wrote that. He said Dybbuk. I don't know. That's weird. There's like a lot of names. It's like written all over this box. So KD made this in. Can you see this right here? It says 2019.
Yep.
Yeah. So Necrocom Light version 1 um, was at I don't have my glasses. June 2019, built by KD Stafford. So it has like all the different names. I mean, they're everywhere. The names. This guy had everybody signing them. Got Mike Couch. He runs the Lost Limbs Foundation. I mean, it's so Afterlife Invest. Hey, what? That thing went nuts. Okay, but anyway, so we have this box. I also have another special box that so sad. Um, is it this one? Yes. Okay, so this particular box here was owned by the late her name was Jessica, and she actually had a massive stroke. She did the Chiefs weekend thing, like the Chiefs camp on the weekend, and had, hey, how you doing, Bratty girl? Um, she had a massive heart attack during that. She went to the Chiefs camp every weekend, but I just found that there was a lot of death surrounding the Chiefs whenever she passed away, because it was the same year that those three gentlemen were found dead in the backyard of that guy's house. I could go on, but it was just so shocking. And then her mother, Jessica's mother, didn't know. Her daughter is the same age as my son, too, by the way. And her daughter wanted to keep it
Hmm.
because she bought this for her daughter. Um, my son doesn't like ghost boxes, but her daughter was all into it. But anyways, yeah. So this box we will never get rid of. Uh, yeah, Julie, it was really sad. It was sudden. Um, I met Jessica. She contracted me because I could fix computers, just desktops. I don't mess with laptops because that ain't my thing. But give me a desktop, I can fix it. KD can rebuild. KD can build computers, but I can fix them. And she contracted me to do that. That's how I met her. She had her own rent a center, and she didn't realize what all we did until she heard me. She was like, wait a minute, I watch ghost shows. Your husband is a paranormal mad scientist? I was like, yeah. She's, oh, I know him. I was like, you do? From where? She's from the TV. And I was like, do you want to meet him? She's, I got to call it. She called her daughter because her daughter loved KD. It was so it was meant to be for us to meet. And long story short, Katie come up there, and we were all just good friends. She investigated the bit. Stephanie was so kind. She A lot of places don't let small children investigate places. Have you noticed that?
Yep.
And Stephanie was fine with it, as because first off, Stephanie's like, well, surely, that's her mother. She's going to be with her. She's like, I'm not a babysitter. You don't want me watching your kid, but you could come during a day where there's nobody around. And her daughter did really well. Like, she wasn't scared of nothing, and it was really active when her daughter was there. Just like when my son is around, things are active. I don't know if it's because their energy. What you laughing about?
Just wreck somebody.
Oh, what are you playing, Wreckfest? That's my squirrel mind. Y'all like that? Anyways, so this box here is mine too.
Oh, that's this one.
Yeah, so this one has two antennas on it, and has a screen on it to show you the EMF level. That this is actually sweeping off the EMF level, and it'll tell you. And let me see if it has batteries in it. Because I recently just gave it back to KD. No, I didn't give it back. I'm letting him borrow it because he made it for me. But you can see. I don't know if you got. Yeah, you can't see the screen on it, but
Yeah, only a little bit.
So it says random scan frequency which is the radio stations, and then the scan rate. You can see it increase. It just went to 4+, and now it's like -1, then +2. So, and now it's just 0. It's very interesting box. I won't say too much because we kind of keep some of our stuff private just because it doesn't work out, and plus people don't even need to know what we're doing anyways, because we're ahead by 10 years on equipment. We just got to get it out,
Right.
and there's a lot that it takes to develop something. You got to write down where you're going to get the parts from. How long does it take for the actual enclosure to be built? How much is that going to cost? What type of boards are we going to use? Are we going to use the same manufacturer? Are we going to stack the board? Like, you have to design all this stuff. It takes time, and
Oh,
so
I can imagine.
and everything even the MCOM. This is my personal MCOM right here. But I mean, there's plenty here. These are all for sale. This one. I can go on and on. This one. I mean, he's got a lot of MCOMs here, and they're $150. Katie, we had a meeting, which is kind of weird. I had a meeting with my husband. A business meeting. It's fucking weird. Anyway, sorry for my language. Hey, Tim Lovejoy. Hey, buddy. We were talking about the reverse ink box, and he knows all about the reverse ink box. I don't know if he's still here, but Tim. Can you? Was it the Aerosmith song that you were playing on your reverse ink box? I was trying to remember your paranormal team name. If you're still here, can you write in your paranormal team name? Because they do some great work, man. Let me tell you what, man. Yeah. Oh, Kim. So Kim, who's in there, she owns two. Do you own, Kim? You own two Inkbox S's, and she was inquiring about an MCOM. And so the Inkbox S's, KD has said to come down to $75 on the Inkbox S's and $150 on the MCOMs, because we have found that now people do like the boutique boxes. Tim's okay. Thank you. Tim's team is NCOP. Oh man, dude. On their TikTok page, dude. Let me tell you, man. They got some really, like with Detroit Parent, all of them. They all just got phenomenal investigative videos. And Kim, her team as well. Kim, can you type in your? I know what her team is called because I'm doing shirts for her team. But type in your team's name. They're out of Arkansas,
Okay.
and and they get phenomenal, like these videos of people using our equipment. When I went on a TikTok, that's where I was like, oh my God, Katie, look at all these videos of people using your equipment. And it was fascinating to see in the coffin edition box. Mwah. Oh my God. That is one box Katie does not like to build because he has to stack the boards. And him and Kier Coffin, um, uh, came to the meeting of the minds on making the coffin box. Yeah, Tim said, still here, North Central Ohio Paranormal, the reverse speech box Generation 2 ink box. Yes, he is a Generation 2. And his has a switch in the back that helps kill the reverb when it goes wonky because it'll go brr, brr. So it has that switch on the back to kind of adjust the sound. Rock City Paranormal Research. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So Bratty girl, I had you covered, Tim. She was like, that's cute. That's cute, Bratty girl. She give a pick on him. It's okay. He doesn't mind. Y'all do some good work. So yeah, so the Inkbox S is very clear and easy to use. So I have an Inkbox S. Mine's at the shop. I didn't think to bring it, but it's a really good box to do the Estes method. Russell, we're gonna have to get you an MCOM, brother.
All right.
Do you have one?
No, I don't have one.
And I think Julie doesn't have one. The only one now, Grace got a lot of boxes, so I think he has. No. I got to ship him his MCOM. So I'm shipping y'all shit this week. I promise. Excuse my language, but yeah, I'm slow tonight. Smoking in the cold garage. Yeah, it's cold, and I got to send him a package. I haven't forgotten. I promise. Yeah, so Julie has an ink box, reverse, and an OG ink box. Oh, there's Nancy. Hi, Nancy. Well, Carol, as far as KD says, he's keeping. Well, it's so expensive to buy things, especially equipment. And I don't know if y'all want to get into the apps because I had a conversation with Midwest Paranormal about apps, and he doesn't prefer apps. He doesn't use them. I don't know if y'all want to talk about that, but because you can go look at a conversation that is posted at the top of our page about explaining the apps and how they work.
Mm-hmm.
And Russell, have you used the SLS app yet?
The one by
It's an app on your phone. It's not an actual device.
isn't it that app that's made by that Crypt girl?
I think
Amy Script. They use it quite a bit on their show.
yeah. So there we go. Yeah. So that app works exactly how the SLS works. It has the same program software in that app. Okay, I'm just going to give you a good example. That app. So if you want an SLS, I would say yes, get that app because it has the same programming. Now, if you're going to use a ghost app that speaks like random words, right? So Midwest Paranormal, he had a good point. He was saying that he didn't realize that it had asked him to update his Ghost Tube. Ghost Tube has one too, Kim. Yeah, no apps on laugh out loud over the air real time. Yes, yeah. Julie says I like to run an app and a box. Yeah, so at the same time, and yeah, so that's what Kira does that. And now that is what I would do if you want to use an app. And I have not know if that's somebody's perspective. I respect that. I may disagree with it, but who gives a shit what I think? I won't. Now I use the what did she call it? Ghost Tube SLS. I'll use that because it's the same thing as my SLS camera. Now KD's
Mhm.
SLS camera has like the crime scene um, software on it. Completely
Yep.
different. You're talking about $2,000 software on there. You ain't gonna get that on. You have it. You might be able to at some point get that same type of feature for the SLS. But as far as using these certain random apps, um, the general, I don't know who I was talking to on their team. It could have been Mike. I don't know who it was, but I know how to build apps. I know about apps. My 11-year-old son will even tell you it tracks everything. Apps track everything, and you're not gonna.
Mhm.
An app developer is not going to make an app, and when it says it's free, it's because they checked this little box stating that they could use they have to tell you when you download this app and you read all the fine print that it is using your location. It's using your web browsing. It knows where you're. Y'all, I'm look it up. I'm
Yep.
not just filling y'all's ear with shit. I assure you, because I know how to build them and I know what it entails, and our technology is growing so rapidly with AI. They've been using AI on these apps for the past 10 years. Okay. How do you think they're getting their algorithms and search engines right? Okay. So it was a difficult conversation to have with people, but not anymore because now you have AI. And it's like, see, your AI on your, like, if you download Chat GPT or Chat GI or whatever it is, it learns you. It
Mhm.
learns you by your everyday. And let's say I got an Apple Watch. It's tracking everything, dude. And they're programmed. Those apps that spit out random words, or the ghost box that sounds like a creepy. I don't know what app that is. Now I do have the Ghost Radio app on my phone, and I looked after I read the comment by uh, was it Midwest Paranormal. I read the comment and I said, let me check my Ghost app. Sure damn enough, man, it wanted me to update it to be able to use my location and have access to my photos. And I'm like, what? I don't recall it asking for that. It may have before, and I just didn't notice it. I don't know. She said, Nancy says, I can't read. I need glasses. What'd she say?
I have the data softened to can't tell me you cannot use a phone app for some of this stuff because phones have all the right components, the same as K2 meters and such. At least the iPhone does. I know that my Kindle Fire does not.
Yeah. So I will tell you, like, they make the thermal camera. It's an external device that you plug into your phone. Is the thermal camera, and
Mm.
I love it. I can plug it into my iPhone, and they make one for Android, and that's a little bit different when you're actually plugging in a device. It's a little different, and I don't know how. Now it does like my watch will test how far apart my feet are when I'm walking. But if you read the fine print, it will say that it is off occasionally. This thing has gone off saying I had a fall. Do I need ambulance? And I didn't have a fall, but last week I felt busted my ass hard. My wrist was swole up. I went and got a compression wristband. It
Mhm.
didn't detect it. It was a hard fall. My hips still hurt. That is how hard I slipped on ice and fell and caught myself and strained my wrist. It pissed me off so bad, and the dang thing didn't ask me for help. Didn't say, hey, do you need help? And I actually had a fall. And I'm just like, piece of, do I need to do an update, or I mean, it
Right.
is older generation, watch, but I'll be sleeping and the damn thing will wake me up thinking I fell. And I do have it. I have AFib, so it will alert me if I have AFib, because I have AFib, which is weird, which is I found to be very helpful. It's mostly when I sleep, my AFib, and you don't want to get up past like 3 or 4%. But anyways, that's for another day. But yes, no, I agree, Nancy. With I have friends that say no way apps work. I'm not saying like the SLS, like Bill Chappell developed the original SLS XLS 3D software. Yes, he did. And that is great. It's phenomenal. And he got some of that idea for that software from the when they set up the little cameras and they do the 3D renderings. That's where he got the idea from the software from. And I love the Paranormal Puck. That's my favorite device to use. I'm very big on environmentals. And our phones do, like I have the phone, now my compass on my phone doesn't do too well with the magnetic north. I don't know why. I don't know if it's because it's interference with Wi-Fi, or even when I'm not on Wi-Fi. I don't know what it is, but I'll have to recalibrate it, because I have, I could set up the magnetic north with two magnets with the north red on the magnet facing each other, right? And it will point in the exact direction of magnetic north. And I don't know why. Sometimes it just can't. I don't know. So it's still good to have. I like the compass on my phone because it's internal. Bye, Kim. Thank you for coming on.
Yeah, thanks for coming in, Kim.
Nancy said, I fell down the stairs and yelled, shit. Siri asked me, what can I help you with? Oh my God. It's like, Siri, oh my gosh.
Carol says, my watch thinks I'm canoeing when I'm using the skimmer to clean the water in the pool.
What? Oh yeah, so you could use it. Oh my God, dude, you could use it as your workout. That's funny, dude. But what's my real infrasound monitor is a nice tool to use in the field. Also, I need you don't have a microcom, Tim? Well, all right. Well, Russell doesn't either, so we're gonna have to get y'all a microcom, because this microcom, you get your little antenna, and then you can do your little Estes method. And good night, Kim. And now Stephanie loves her MCOM. She has one, and she just carries that thing around. She puts it down in her shirt, and but anyways, you can tell. Oh, I also have his last name's Daniel. I have his Nanocom, and so his Nanocom, he said it something was wrong with it. Maybe the speaker was messed up, and also the battery wire needs to be repaired. Easy peasy. I did that. I could do stuff like that. Well, the only thing that was wrong with it wasn't that box. I'm sorry, it was a different box with the battery. But the only thing that was wrong with his box was he was using a rechargeable battery. He even sent the battery with the box, and of course, the rechargeable battery would go dead over time. But those rechargeable batteries, don't have a very long lifespan. They have a little bit longer lifespan than a regular battery, of course. But this one right here was the old one. And it was cool because he actually wrote on there when he inserted the battery in his device. So I took it out, and also the rechargeable batteries, if you guys want to know, they don't rust. They're harder, like they don't rust. I mean, they can if it's submerged in water, but they don't really rust like regular batteries do. I'll just put that out there, because you don't want to leave your batteries in your equipment. And I know people leave batteries in flashlights, but I mean, I guess that would be okay, obviously, if you need it for emergencies. But I have found, I put these boxes through the ringer, bro, and I will tell you, this thing will not sound right when the battery starts going dead. And if you're not using a brand name new, like test that sucker. If it's cold, right? If your battery case, right, and you're in an old building, right, and it's freaking cold, your battery's gonna be cold, and it makes a difference. It makes a big difference as far as the functionality. So just warm it up with your hands, but most of the time, if you feel like something's wrong with it, just put a brand new Duracell battery in there. Test it before you put it in there, and I guarantee, because this person, lots of people have done it. They spend the money to ship the box back because we guarantee our boxes. They have a warranty on it for a year as long as it wasn't your negligence. You know what I'm saying? As long as you didn't like drop it in a pond. But KD's very nice, and he will probably still look at it. My OG ink box has been through the trenches for sure, and it's still going. Yeah. So Kim, who was on, her box, she fell in the mud, and she mails me this box. It's covered in mud, and so broke the little lens on the front, but the box still worked. I was shocked, and so I replaced the lens on it for her, and it was dirty as hell. I was like, you want me to clean it up for you? And she goes, no, I want it on there. And I was like, okay, sure, however you want. But I had fixed it for her, put another label like the ink box that's on there for her. And she paid for the shipping and everything and sent it back. And I was just shocked. I didn't even want to open it because it does have a seal around it, but that thing, it was covered in mud, bro. A portable projector fog machine. You can monitor for manifestation images within the fog. Also videos with the fog at home. Yes. And also you do that with a video feedback loop with the fog on the projector. Bro, we were at Ashmore State. Oh my God, bro. It was the weirdest. I've never seen it before. So KD was doing his little experiment in one room, and then PTF breaks me and KD up. So then I was doing my experiment, on another floor in another room. Well, all of a sudden, here comes people running downstairs, and some of them were screaming, some of them, were like a little freaked out, needed a break. And because KD had a camera, because we can use a video feedback loop, you have a camera. So he had a camera and the TV and everything in the hallway at Ashmore Estates. And all of a sudden, that was projecting on the projector. It looked like a person, but he was upside down, so his head was down here, and he had a torso, and it just kept going up the projector, and it wouldn't change. And before that, there was a woman that saw a dark mass. She said it looked like it was human-like. Walked by the room, and she says, "Hey guys, I swear I just saw something walk out the room," and before you know it, that's when that image came up on that projector. So there's lots of things that people can do. You just got to have patience and set this stuff up. And I have a little pamphlet, if you will, of how to do these various different techniques that you could do in the field. And somebody, it was so long ago, I can't remember, my squirrel mind here. Somebody was transferring frequency onto like a record or something. This person, I think he lived in Luxembourg, in Europe. I don't. It was. Are you laughing at me? Oh no! I'm sorry. Is he laughing at me? He's playing Wreckfest.
Oh yeah, I'm sure he's probably running the track back.
Yeah, he's messing a whole bunch of people. Anyways, yeah. So, I'd like to hear people's ideas too. Nancy says it's been 20 years here, and the batteries in my solar lights have been charging and lighting. The lights are on every night. Depends on the batteries as well, as I'm sure you are aware. Yeah, so you must have good solar lights, because my butt went with the cheaper solar lights, and they go out, they suck, and they're in the sun all day long, right? Well, I did go with a little bit more expensive brand this past year, and I'm hoping but I can replace the batteries in those solar panels. But KD uses the solar panels to transmit the sound, the laser light, to transmit it to a ghost box. So maybe he's the one that's messing up my solar lights. They're on the Death Star. I shit you not. This Joker, I was like, where the hell are all my solar lights? That's funny she brings that up. I swear to God. If you guys ever watched that episode of Ghost Brothers, KD's on there, and he's transferring light, you know, and it gets picked up by that solar panel, right? And then he uses a prism so it beams off into like 7 beams or something like that, or 9, I can't remember. If any of y'all know, write it in the chat, because I kind of want to know, because I can't remember. Because it won't do any more than that, the prism won't. But anyway, so he was doing this in a lighthouse on Ghost Brothers. And so it's just the solar. He took the solar portion off the lights. And I'm like, thought someone was stealing them. I'm like, they're the cheapy ones from the dollar store. It was him the whole time. And Tim and Katie, blessings. I'm just lurking. Hey, lurk, my friend. Love Ghost Bros. Yeah, Ghost Bros. Great, dude.
Yeah, they were awesome guys. I got to meet them in September at the Warren's Paracon.
Yeah, they'll be here in Kansas City. I call Chris our bookie, because he's trying to book us for places all the time, and Katie get old and tired, and so doing a lot of events wears him down, because he works a full-time job, and sometimes he's on call, and like for 14 days straight. Yeah. So and I wish he wouldn't do that, but y'all men would work. Y'all that's good men. Men work themselves. The older they get, the more they just want to work. And I'm not going to say anything, but I get a little concerned because, Katie is retired from the military, and he's 100% VA disabled. And so I worry about him sometimes. But howdy, first time viewer, first time commenter. Is this the channel that operates a Ouija board live on YouTube? Forgot which channel that is. Is it this? No, but we can. Heck yeah. I got Ouija boards at the wazoo up in here. I even make the puzzle ones, but I'm sorry, this isn't. It's Russell. Go ahead, tell her what you do.
We talk about paranormal. We talk about demonology. I have a range of guests on here, from celebrities to regular paranormal investigators that just do the low-level paranormal investigating. So you can find a whole array of what we do on here as far as demonology. If you're into that, we're here to educate. We'd like to educate people with it. People get a lot of education when they learn, especially new investigators, with what we do on this channel.
Yeah, and a lot of the new investigators, it's fascinating because you see that they come to like the paracons, and they are scared to use a Ouija boards because of it's all about your intentions. And I wonder, okay, it's good. I'm listening to Brent Thomas of Paranormal World and you. Awesome. So Grandizer 12. So do you use an Ouija board? And if you do you believe the negative aspect of it, or I don't know what I'm trying to say, Russell. What am I trying to say here? It's your show. I just want to know like what their idea is of it, because everybody's like, put the Ouija board up. Like we got kicked out of Hall of Waters for bringing a Ouija board. Like, really, people? I mean, we were told very politely to put up the Ouija board. It was just like on display at a museum. I'm not going to say where it was because we still go there and investigate out. Yeah, and I'm sure They might be in the chat. Okay, it's good. I'm listening. Okay, Russell and Katie, how long you've been doing this? And if I may ask, where are you based out of? I am based out of the Midwest.
I'm also in the Midwest. I've been doing this 31 years now.
Yeah, he's older than me, but I look older than him. Whatever, but no, I've been doing this for 19, 20 years. But I'm 44, so she says, what did she say? What did they say? Grandizer 12. I'm sorry. I was looking at Nancy's, but I was trying to read.
Says, Katie, no, I don't use Ouija board. I just caught a channel that was using it, and I was like, oh wow, so many frown upon it. I don't judge.
Oh, I like that. I like how you say I don't judge, because here's the thing. Society has an issue with having, what do they call it, social acceptance. Tired of the social acceptance. I don't need society to accept my opinion, because they have an opinion as well. And I don't need, if somebody doesn't like something, I'm not a child. We're all adults. And I agree with you that she doesn't judge, but she said I caught a channel that was using it. And I was like, oh, wow, so many frown upon it. Yeah, people do frown upon it. Like,
Yeah.
We were kicked out of places because of it. And we would invite people to come investigate with us from other teams, and they would leave because they had such a bad experience with Ouija board. And it was like, well, what were your intentions when you were using that Ouija board? Was you trying to manifest something? Because whoever you're doing it with, you don't know what their intentions are. There's a lot of things behind that. And, people have asked me, they're like, well, you talk about the Bible, this, that, and the other. Yeah, I do. I read the Bible every day, and I pray every day, of course. And they're like, so you're using a Ouija board? And I'm like, not today, I'm not. God loves me. I'm not doing anything nefarious, if that makes sense. It's all intentions. And I'm not calling upon anything. Just like when I was sitting here running this reverse ink box right here.
That's the thing playing with a Ouija board.
Exactly. Let's turn it back on. I heard hell. But let me turn the sweep all the way down. Oh, hang on a second. What?
I heard that. I couldn't make that what though.
It's the same voice. Something shattered.
Yeah. They just said yes. I confirmed it.
Let me turn it up a little bit. Sweep up. I'm gonna break my rule one time. Okay. Hello. My name is Mrs. Katie. You're communicating through an ink box. Can you say hello to Russell? So I heard it very faintly under there. And go back on the tape. Go later on. Go back to 1 hour and 27 seconds and listen. It said it twice. Your name. It just said Russell. It didn't say hey or anything. It just said Russell. Said hi. Do you want me to put it on AM or shortwave, Russell?
Try shortwave.
Okay, let's do shortwave 1. Wait, hold on. I should have worn my reading glasses. Let's see here. Let's do shortwave 1. And I leave the antenna up for the shortwave, but you put the antenna down for the AM. Okay, there's the shortwave. I like shortwave too,
Yeah,
because I'll be surprised if anything even comes through on shortwave. But if it does, oh, what's up, Greg?
hey, Greg.
Hey, Linda. Yeah, Linda likes shortwave too. You hear that frequency tone, man?
Mm-hmm.
So I like to turn my speed up. Wrong side of it. I'm messing with the broadband. We don't want to do that. We want to put it down at the close to the end, and let me turn the speed up.
We did have a question from friends here asking us if we were seasoned investigators.
Yeah, how long did you say, Russell, you've been investigating?
31 years.
Yeah, I've been investigating since about 2005, 2006. Always been fascinated with it, though. Aliens, that... so my brother's not watching, which is cool, because my brother says he doesn't even want me talking about it, because he swears that they'll come and visit him. He does not believe in ghosts. He believes that the aliens are the ghosts.
Mm-hmm.
And he's told me, he's like, that effing box, that's not a ghost. That is an alien. He's not lying, because my mom thought he was lying when he was 12, and I'm 2 years younger than him. I found him one night laying in the kitchen floor, because I just remember I got woken up by something. And I remember it was like a flash, like a camera flash. I remember that. And I don't even remember walking downstairs, but I do remember my brother laying in the floor in his tidy freaking whiteys, no lie. And he had mud like on his ankles. Like I can't remember if it was up his legs, but for sure I saw mud on his ankles. And I didn't see any footprints. I don't know why he was laying there, but I walked into the kitchen and he was laying there, and I was like, Bradley. He goes, it's like he came to, and he's like, shh, and he takes me upstairs. And I go into his room. He's like, no, your room. I was like, okay. I didn't know what was going on. Go in my room. It was so bizarre. I saw this beam. It was like just a light that went. It was thin, pew across the room. I was like, oh my God, that was a ghost. He goes, no, it's not. It's them. It's an alien. They took me. I don't see my brother making this all up. My mom would kick his ass. I'm just saying. And he told me not to ever tell my mother. But I did tell her, like, when I was like in my mid 30s. And I was home because we were stationed in Germany. And so I was home during the summertime. And he overheard me and my mom talking about it. And she was, your brother always would see shit in the sky. And he always saying he was abducted. And that's when I proceeded to tell her about him and his tidy whities. And I'm trying to make it somewhat humorous, because it really wasn't. It was very terrifying when you're in this position. And he was so upset at me and my mother that he believed that the Faraday cloth would protect him. My he's an engineer. He builds the machines that fills up your Coca-Cola bottles, okay, and your cans. So he's an electrical engineer. He's a smart guy. But he will not talk about his experiences. You will only hear what I say, and then he'll, you know, get on to me like, stop telling people my personal. Like, he gets very frustrated. He gets pissed. He knows MUFON, and he's like, don't stop it. I don't want anybody knowing anything. And I can't help myself though.
Right.
It could have been when he fell into Lake Erie, but he didn't like drown or anything. He was at Lake Erie. The fish would come up to the surface and they would freeze a little bit, and their little mouths would move. Well, when I was a little girl, I thought they were hurting, and I remember I was crying. So my brother takes a stick, and a stick broke, so he took his foot, broke the ice, and the little fish went swimming off. Well, he slipped and fell in the water. It wasn't deep at all. It's like up to his knees, and my mom's like freaking out. He's gonna get hypothermia. You know how parents are. I get it.
Yep.
But it was weird after that. Is when that's what I remember. So what would they say?
What led you to this? Just a denaire that fantasizes you, maybe a death in the family, and you wanted to talk to them in the afterlife. Other reasons?
Well, for me, you see, hey, will you take that question? I just got to grab a cigarette real quick.
Okay.
All right.
Well, for me, what led me into it was I
over
experienced
here.
paranormal at a very young age as a kid. I lived in a house that was haunted. And my first apparition at 6 years old. And then as I got older, I started seeing more and more stuff at other people's houses that were haunted. And so it sparked my interest to actually go out and investigate and help people with it. Because as a kid, you're kind of scared when you see stuff like that. So when I saw it at 6 years old, it scared me. So here I am now. I've been doing it now for 31 years, going out to help people in their houses with it.
Have you noticed, Russell, that so I, when we started back here, like when we moved here to the Midwest in Missouri,
Mm-hmm.
and because you got Iowa and Kansas, Illinois, and Arkansas. It's great. There's lots of places, a lot of history. Cause I'm a historian, and no, I don't have a degree. I don't need to have one. I have a degree, but it's not in history. And but I that's where the parahistorian comes in. My board gave me that name. They like want to patent the name. I'm like, you can't patent a name, man. They're like, that is my trademark, like parahistorian, because they accepted me for what I do and for the preservation side of it. But through time, I found that people would ask us to come out after somebody had unalived themselves, I guess. And I always found that those were the most peaceful ones, to be honest with you. And they're like, do you think they're going to hell? This, that, and the other, because my church is saying they're going to hell. And so I've had to educate myself on a biblical level and like look this stuff up and understand it, because you got people telling them that their loved one's going to hell. Woo! And it felt so peaceful there. And no, they're not going to hell. We don't know, but I would like to think it doesn't say anywhere in the New Testament about it. If somebody knows any different, hook me up with the scripts. I got to see it in black and white. And I just from I don't believe that. And who am I to say if they are? But
Right.
and I tell them, I'm like, look, I am not. I mean, yes, we all have the Holy Spirit. We're all made in the image of God, and that's who breathed life into us. We don't live in the Old Testament, but there's a lot there. And don't discount the Old Testament at all. It's there for a reason. But the reason why I started researching, like kind of like you as a young child, uh, friend of mine had twin friends, Margaret and Rosemary. Um, in South Carolina, there's a lot of history there, and a lot of native history. That's my primary study, and yeah, there the house they lived in, the cabinets would open, like it was like, but there's all women living in the house. And at the time when I'm like 13, 14, I didn't know anything. You just know about the Poltergeist movie and what you see on TV,
Yep.
back in the late 80s and early 90s, right?
Yep.
And so then you start reading books. So you go to the library, and there were some of these books at the school library talked about. I to this day I still remember reading. I might even have that book somewhere. Uh, uh, Folk tale, various different ghosts, because you have, I believe it's the white ghost in Myrtle Beach, and then like all of that just was fascinating. And my mom is a retired environmental chemist, and she had some weird, unknown supernatural things happen to her. And she would ask me, "Did I see that, or have I noticed anything strange going on? In her office, or what have you?" And that kind of made me even more curious. So I'm kind of like with you on the boat there, but um, I've noticed some relatives, they still see like older people when they're like when their wife or husband dies. It's like they feel like they're still there. They feel them, and that's because we're creatures of habit. Okay, and you still sense their energy. And they did do a study, and I think it's in Berkeley, California. They did a study with two plants. I tell everybody this story, and I'm trying not to bore anybody, but they were trying to show where does our vibration and frequency affect people. That's what the study was. You can Google it, look it up. It's fascinating. So basically, they took two plants, they planted them at the same time, the same species, same everything, came from the same whatever, right? And so the one plant they put in an environment, and they would speak kindly in the environment with their friends, no yelling, no drinking, that just very, their tone was nice, this, that, and the other. Well, and they fed it regularly, gave it the sunlight that it needed. Well, the other one, they neglected it. They didn't water it, feed it quite as often. They didn't give it as much sun, yada, yada, yada. And it grew slower. It developed slower. And the other one flourished. Well, guess what they did? They swapped the environments. Well, the one that was in the good environment that has so much fruit on it and flowers is massive. Put it into the negative environment. Guess what happened to it? 2 weeks later, being in a negative environment, died. But
Yep.
the one that was in a negative environment thrived. It still didn't get as big as the other one. By the time I ended reading this, 4,000 page, it's probably more than that, because it took me several days to read this study they did. But it's same thing with our life. Like when we go through negative things, it should make you stronger.
Yep.
So going back to another living organism, another living thing that may not be human, right? It was still able to thrive because it was raised in this negative environment, and it overcame all that negativity, being neglected from sunlight, being in an environment people are shouting, yelling at each other, things being thrown across the room, like stuff like that. And then for it to go into this positive environment, it flourished, while the one that was in a positive environment the whole time didn't know how to handle the creature habit ways that it had in the other environment. And that's kind of how we are when the older folk, they like, I swear I see my wife, and I'm like, you, their energy is still there. And I'm like, for instance, like, what did your wife do every morning? Gentleman says, well, she'd walk, there's a plant in the kitchen, and I'm gonna move the plant into another area of the home. You know, but it still needs to be in the same direction, but just move it forward and maybe into another window, what have you, and just kind of move things around a little bit. And but he liked it, and then I was like, well, why are you telling me this? You want me to help you or not? You know what I'm saying? And he was just thought maybe he was going crazy. I'm like, dude, you're like 80. I think if you're going to go crazy, you would already went crazy.
Right.
I mean, you know, but that's just one story. But anyways, I don't know.
That's like my mom passed away in the house, and we had some stuff going on in the house, so I set up a full spectrum camera one night in the living room, just let it run. Her urn is sitting up on top of the china closet. Well, I caught this light anomaly come from the urn about 3 o'clock in the morning, and that would be the time she would get up to make her coffee in the morning
Uh-huh.
and shoot out towards the kitchen.
Huh. So midnight is Satan's hour, the devil's hour, and 3 o'clock is the witching hour.
Mm-hmm.
And it just depends. Some people in paganism, I'm not a pagan, but some people say that it's reverse. Well, if you want to go on a biblical term, it's morning time. The devil likes the morning time, and it's not 3 a.m. It's as the sun rises, because he is the God of this world. You know that saying, the same as above, same as below.
Right.
That's because he's a fallen angel and he is the God of this world. So, but yeah, the witching hour is 3 a.m. So with that, that's interesting you say that. Was she like practice any religion or anything like that?
She was baptized Methodist.
Okay, yeah. So that would make sense. I mean, that it would be around that time. Does that still happen, or
No, it's actually stopped.
did it go on for a while, or what?
Yeah, it went on for a while because she passed away in 2018. So it went on for quite a while because I was out on an investigation. My dad was home by himself, and he was getting ready to call me because she was out there rattling the pots and pans that were hanging on the wall just to aggravate him.
Yeah.
He was ready to call me off an investigation to come home.
Uh-huh. That's it's so amazing how those fond and cute little memories. And I'm sorry, of your mom's passing, and but I assure you that they do come from my reason. Hold on, I have to say this. In theory, I have to say that in theory, in my belief, I'm going to say my belief because I do believe this. I, I, I believe that your mother and our loved ones do come in,
Oh yeah,
and
I
whether it's in a
think that too.
yeah, and I will say, there's other things that come in that like to trick you. That's for another show, another day. But you know the difference, though.
Yep.
Because I'm sure you've been on those investigations where somebody thinks it's their uncle and it ain't their uncle.
Yep.
They got like a little altar thing going on of their daddy, and they calling upon stuff, and then you got to come clean up their mess. I don't clean up people's messes. And I'm like, yeah, you did that. You're going to have to undo that yourself. Well, who's my dad? That ain't your daddy. Why would your daddy put marks on your granddaughter? Why? Well, why would this weird stuff happen? Knock down the picture frame of her dad, breaking it. Come on, man. This thing told me. It was trying to preach to me. And I don't know who the hell you think you are, but guess what I've done? I'll go off. And yeah, but that can happen. Y'all be careful.
Yeah, I've got audio from one case that we did off a ghost box, and it was actually talking in Latin, laughing, and then it was playing religious, like mocking religious church.
Yeah. Yep. Oh my God. I'll go off, man. I'm like, y'all.
And then my investigator was running that box where it was coming through, so I ran the same exact one on my end. Mine was acting perfectly normal.
So that kind of goes back to what we were talking about earlier.
Yep.
How even with the Ouija board thing, like you don't know like that, like whoever box says you don't know where they've had it or who's used it, or
Yep.
it's fascinating to me that like why does one individual get so much. And I want to bring up something that's I noticed Tim Lovejoy had in the yeah, right, the 18.9 hertz ghost frequency study by the Air Force. Yes, yes, he's right. And there's also, I'm not going to say it anymore. I'm not going to do it to you, Russell. I'll just leave it alone for right now because I'm going to do a series on this one subject because people think I'm crazy. But this one frequency is instilled into our DNA. I have researched. Do I believe this? Maybe. I have a lot of research on it. Just saying. And they use this frequency for lots of different things, and it's in that range of that 18.7. Is that what he said? 18.9 hertz.
Yep.
Yes, sir. That shit right there is crazy. All y'all need to look that up for real.
And
Yeah, go ahead.
Greg says I would be interested in the Latin. Do you still have it? Yeah, I still have that audio clip. I was actually instructed by Sister Farrah Rose Perry to actually destroy it. I let her listen to it, and she said it's nothing good. It's like demonic chanting, and she, she instructed me to get rid of it.
Well, and that's good. You know, they say to people bring us their stuff all the time, and KD does. I'll bring stuff to him, and I don't know why. Like I'll be guided to bring stuff to him, but so Carol says, "Do either of you think that's all about intent?" Oh yeah, but it's your frequency and your vibration because some spirits may see your aura, and hey, I don't care what y'all think of me because I see auras. It may be 2 years out of row when I see someone's aura. I don't know what the colors mean. I just can see them, and I'm assuming these things that we can't see can see them.
Yep.
And I believe that our aura has things to do with like maybe the color, maybe because when I looked up what people think of what the auras mean, everybody's saying something different. Nobody really knows. To be honest with you, I know what the Holy Spirit tells me, and I pray on it. And the Holy Spirit ain't wishy-washy. It's straightforward. I'm never gonna you ain't gonna second guess yourself. That's how you know you're talking to the Holy Spirit, okay? And you know, certain spirits can see if you're struggling with something. That's an open door for good and bad. You might have something that can see something that they have related to you. They feel like, hey, they gone through what I gone through in life, uh, and they don't, maybe they think that's a way of redeeming themselves. I don't know. It's all theory. Theory. I have to say that. I mean, but most of it is your intent. Sometimes people, their intentions will get them attacked, and I've seen it. But the ghost didn't mean any harm. It was his intentions were not very nice, and I was like, this joker right here. It was at Hollow Water. See, I was like, this joker about to get messed up. Sure did, because I'm fascinated with communication through water. And Hollow Waters, that's I love that place. And you talking about a 6'3" man, about 290 pounds, jump about this high off the ground. He moved quick. It's on video. You can go to our technologies page. It's on there. Real quick, like whoop, whoop, jumped up, took off. That's what he wanted. His intentions was very provoking. And that never happens. I've noticed that. Have you noticed that people provoke, nothing happens? And I'm sitting there thinking to myself, this joker about to get it. I just knew it because it was active. It was active all evening because they put me down in the water basement room, way down in the ground by myself. PTF always does that. And I love it. That's my favorite area. It does not bother me at all. Well, except for KD told me a story that happened to him on the elevator because he put, the main hall. It said M for Maine. Well, no, man, it took him way down into the ground, into the damn basement, and it's pitch black down there. And he was like, he said he was pushing the button, pushing the button, pushing the button. And then he turns his phone on, right?
Mhm.
He's recording this, right? His phone dies. It's pitch
Oh,
black, and he's like trying to get the elevator to take him back up. And he said the elevator just, I can just picture it, just being in an elevator. It opens up, it's pitch black, but the light on the elevator says that you're on the main floor, but you're like, don't know where you are because it's
yep.
pitch black. You can't hear anyone. That would be terrifying. I would be swinging at air because I don't know if I'm upstairs. I don't know where I'm at. Yeah, no, fuck that. No thanks. I would be, yeah, that would mess me up.
Well, that's like doing Waverly laying on one of those morgue slabs in the morgue, one of those refrigerators.
Yeah, no, no. Mm-mm. Have you ever seen a scalping table? Woo!
I did that. I went in that
No, 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 no,
morgue
dude.
refrigerator, laid in there for about 2 hours by myself.
Yeah, y'all could do that. Uh, what's her name? Whedon. What's her name? Whedon. That was on Portals of Hell. What's her
Oh,
name?
oh, Christina Weidman?
Bro, she gangster. She don't, dude. She take a sleeping bag, zips it
Yeah,
up, sleeps. Dude, she gangster, man. That's what I'd be doing. She has like a little light she hangs in there. And I'm like, that's what I'd be doing. I'd be putting some bug spray around the bed, have my equipment set up. And, I have a sleep paralysis. It's not, as I get older, it's not quite as bad.
mhm,
But every time I go to Ashmore Estates, I get sleep paralysis, and it rains, storms every time. It rains so bad. I know you know who he is. I can't remember his name at the moment. He was sleeping. He likes to sleep out in his tent. Flooded his tent. He had to go inside the building, and every time we go there, and I get sleep paralysis. So take my selenite, right, and then I'm praying over my area, and I put the selenite under the pillow, and if you sleep in one of the little
mhm,
cabins that he has there, they're twin beds, and so there's like four of them in the cabin that we were in at that time. And it was just me and KD, and I'm like, I get in a little tiny twin bed with KD because I woke up, I was in a paralyzed state, and I needed someone to wake me up, and I because I know what it is, and it doesn't scare me, but I'm just like, if I could just move my toe to wake myself up, because it's very uncomfortable because my body's stiff and I don't like it. And so I went, so every time we go, I'm like, we're squeezing this tiny little twin bed, and I have selenite under the pillow, and I got my Bible there, and I'm like, you know, and the past two times I was there, I didn't have any sleep paralysis or any of that. And I do leave a gift behind. It's very important to leave a gift behind out of respect. And I
yeah,
learned that from a mentor of mine. She was a Turkish lady that I met in Germany. And that's a story for another day. I'll tell you how I met her. But she was asking me, how did I know how to cleanse that item? And I said, I looked at her, I said, ma'am, I need you to walk away right now. This says not good. She goes, well, you're digging a hole on military ground, and you've got like grapeseed oil, and you're like praying. So do you need help? And I was like, no, I've got it. I got it. And ever since then, I would decide to hang out with this lady for 2 years. And she is like, we went to, I won't get into it's very sad. But, anyways, so we go to this house, and they had some cattle and pigs and stuff like that, what have you. And so we go there. And long story short, as we're leaving, she goes, you're not going to leave a gift behind? I said, why? It is so disrespectful. Like, she goes, it doesn't matter. God's still saying what is above is below, like we were saying earlier.
mhm.
Just respect it. And I was like, I see what you're saying. So now I leave a gift, and I just so happen to have a seashell in my pocket because I ran the thrift store on post and there was a glass that had all these different sized seashells in it, and I can't remember maybe some it broke. That's all I remember. And one of the seashells was really pretty, so I just put it in my pocket. Totally forgot about it, and then I pulled it out. I'm gonna leave this here seashell. So now I leave behind seashells
Hmm.
everywhere I go. It's weird. It's weird, people. But hey, I do it out of respect because going back to what Carol was saying, my intentions are to show respect
Yep.
because I'm not like them. Okay. And, you know, generational curses also are hauntings. I've found that a lot with hauntings with people with generational curses. Julie says my bucket list.
We talked about Waverly Hills. Greg's
Yeah,
going in April.
yeah, I've been to Waverly Hills and it was so much fun, dude. Like
Oh
that.
yeah, I had a ball there.
Oh, and I thought I was gonna get lost, but so I kept walking around so I wouldn't get lost because definitely don't want to get lost in that place. Um, but it was very interesting at the very top floor of that place. Um, it felt very peaceful to me, and others didn't like it. And then all of a sudden, I started it felt weird, and I just didn't know if maybe I was sensing what they was projecting. And I don't know. That place is weird, man. Well, if you y'all, that's definitely on a bucket list. Oh, my phone's about to die, and I charged it. It was at 100%. I'm at 8%. Oh, okay, we're done. It's 2 hours.
Yeah,
Yes,
we're done.
I
So
I made it. I made it. Very rarely will I do a podcast for 2 hours, but I support y'all,
yeah,
and I support all of you guys, and you all do such a great job.
appreciate it.
And yeah, and so like KD was saying, he goes, well, you support them, you should go on their show if they ask. I'm like, yeah, you're right, and and that's the right thing to do because y'all work hard. Y'all got to get the equipment set up to do it. Yeah, my Greg, I'm so sorry. Sorry, KD's not down here. Did y'all hear that?
I did hear that.
The air just now came on, but I heard something else. It's as soon as he left. It's because I said something to the box. Yeah, Kira's having problems with her internet. Yeah, Greg, I wanted to apologize to you about. I didn't know my internet was that bad, so I need to put it on the 2.4 hertz for the camera webcam that I have. Russell and Katie, you have a good week. Hope to catch you live next time when you're out in the field. Yes, we all go randomly live on
Yep.
investigations. You can tune into any of these channels. I go live. When I go live personally on investigations, it's always going to be at 12 and 1 o'clock. I'll go live. I get over 1,000 people watching out at that particular time. I don't know why, and I don't care. And all the trolls. I don't even care. I want the trolls there too, because I just need 20 more subscribers to be monetized. So y'all need to go subscribe to all the pages so we can be monetized. So because I get the network page does get the 3,000 minute views. But to be 100% monetized, you need to have 1 million subscribers
Mhm.
and over 3 million viewing hours. So we're going to have to do something major to get that. Unless you just, I don't know about you, but I ain't got a bunch of money to be doing that. So but you want to organically grow your stuff anyways because the people come back.
Yep.
Yeah. I had 1.1 thousand people watching when I was at the McIntyre Villa, and then I had another time I had almost 900 watching, and I don't know if they're in other countries. I can look in the YouTube studios to see. I have it. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, guys. Greg and Julie and Russell. I have slacked a little bit on looking at the YouTube studios. I will do that Monday and give you guys a report Monday, I promise. But y'all might want to remind me because y'all know I'm squirrel mind up in here. I have a lot going on. But no, you guys need to know. Yeah, Supernatural Inc. is the channel. Yeah, so it's Supernatural Inc. Network. And I'm glad you're on YouTube because that's where I want people to watch. Because Facebook, now we're 100% monetized on Facebook, but they keep taking a huge percentage from the shows. And like Russell had, you just got a copyright strike too. So all the little stars that you made, it wasn't that much, Russell. It was like $4. It went to 22 other people, was split. And that's bull crap to me that people can do that. And I tried to fight that one because the music you change, there are no strikes on YouTube and it's the same video. So why did they strike it on Facebook?
Yeah, and it's funny too because I own the rights to it. I bought the licenses.
Well, they rebutted and said it was still a portion of the intro music. And I said, it's been changed. I said, I'm not going to argue with you. So I had to delete the video. But you know what I did? So it's still on StreamYard. So you know what? Screw them. I have made shorts. And if people want to see it, they have to go to YouTube's. And it's the Supernatural Inc. Paranormal Technology. And it's the skull. I don't know if you can see the skull logo up there in the top right corner. If you see that logo, that's us. So, and we own that logo, and that is registered as well. We're an LLC, so that's legit. And ain't nobody else using that. KD drew that. So it's, yeah. But we have 3 podcasts. Russell comes on Saturday at 8. Greg has 2 podcasts Wednesday at 9. It's when Spirits Connect. And then that's Estes Method on Wednesday at 9. And then Friday at 9, he does Manner of Spirit. I said that right that time, didn't I, Russell?
The Mariner Spirit.
What he said. And Julie has the Spiritual Speakeasy. It runs every Sunday at 9. It's 9 p.m. Yes, because yep. 9 p.m. for the Spiritual Speakeasy. And these podcasts that they all have, they're not like your typical podcasts. And I'm not just saying that because I support them. That's why they're on our network, is because they have interesting guests, subjects, and Greg's been running the Estes Method for like 6 freaking years.
Yep.
It's great. Still going. I got chills just now talking about it because he's done so good. And
with that.
Yeah, and you know, you guys and the guests y'all get on, they know what they're talking about. You know, all of you guys do. So I don't even know how y'all get all these great guests. I'm not going to question it. Y'all, you know, keep it clean. And I couldn't ask for better people. I'm just saying, all of y'all are great. So it's just so fast. Like, I mean, so like the topic of bloodletting was on Julie's show. That's fascinating to me because people look at that as a sexual perverse thing. That's how it went back in the 90s, but it's not like that at all. And it was explained. And I'm like, I'm so glad that was explained.
Mm-hmm.
And then you had Kirby on, and the way he explains things, like with the drones, he's like, nobody's paying attention. And he would explain light workers. I mean, you can't ask for anything better. And you know, more people will come, just like Grand Dizzer 12. I hope I'm saying that right. Thank you for coming on. I'm glad. And wait, hold on. Who's that? Shaw Woman? Yeah. Shaw Woman, how are you? This is the first time my facial book drives me nuts. I prefer YouTube to. Yes. Thank you. I do too. And I don't know. I just wish I mean, it's $4. I mean, it adds up, but they took this man's $4. They take the podcaster's little bit of super thanks they get. I mean, it adds up, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And he got 23 cents. Do you want that in the form of a check, or you want me to put it towards the StreamYard bill? I'm just saying. But anywho,
Yeah, he was on last night when I was
Oh,
on Greg's show last night
oh, awesome.
in the audience.
Cool. Yes, they have doubled. Yeah, they have doubled. Well, that's because you couldn't use Safari. That we had problems with Safari, and me and Julie used Safari, and so we had to update it. So we, kind of had some kinks there, but they fixed it, and it is expensive. Um, Riverside streaming service. Okay, I haven't heard of that. I might check that out
I've heard
too.
of that. There's
You have?
a couple of them. Generation X podcast used one that's pretty good too.
Yeah, I know. I know. Brandon, when he started the network, he was getting everything set up for it to be streamed on iHeart. And
Hmm.
that's the Apple podcast, right?
Yep.
iHeart.
iHeartRadio.
Yes, yeah. And then also, what was the other one? There was another one.
You can put them on Spotify, Amazon Prime. You can put them on Amazon as
Yeah,
well.
I think they're free on Amazon, aren't they? If you have a membership.
Yep.
I do free StreamYard and
Restream's another good one too.
oh, Restream. Okay, yes. So one of my favorite podcaster, he uses Restream. I need to check into that just because I'm trying to get y'all stuff on on a listening level, but you'll have to be like I was telling. Oh, I'm so sorry. I forgot my husband's paranormal his podcast. Crap. So also my husband, his name's KD Stafford. His show is called the Generic Paranormal Show. Him and Austin, they talk about all kinds of weird stuff. And my husband is the one who makes the paranormal equipment. He makes all kinds of paranormal equipment, and
Then
yeah,
he does his live streaming of the Ghost Box where he calls the Knox method.
yes, yep,
Like,
the Knox method. That's correct.
I love that method. That was awesome. I was watching them that morning when it actually
Yeah,
typed out my whole name.
yeah, he was telling me that. Yeah, and he writes this stuff down. Like he records and then he writes things down because he may be I don't know what he does during his Knox method or whatever it is. I just know he yells upstairs. He goes, "I'm doing the Knox method or whatever it is," and I'm like, "Okay." So you'll be live, so I won't curse and stop around and yell at the kids. We're good.
Yeah, I know he runs the Spirit Box, and then he does that text to type, that talk to type, and
He
it
does the
types
what?
it out. The talk to type text.
Like okay, so he ain't showed y'all the tin can. I like the tin can. Austin has the original tin can. Looks like a big smokestack, but
Hmm.
but it's a copper. Anyways, yeah, I like the technique. He's doing that for frequency purposes, but God knows what else he's pitting with it. I have no idea. Uh,
He just did it live on Supernatural Link the other morning.
yeah, I can feel when he does stuff because I can walk. I'll walk down here. Well, we have a older. He's like a kitten, but I don't know. He's like 11 months old. He follows me around. He's down here in the basement. He stopped coming down here recently when just he was coming down here all the time, but now he'll only come down here when I come down here, and I can tell when KD is testing something down here. And I personally don't like it. That's why we have an office. And he goes, "Oh, I don't feel like going over there because this is his realm." And down here, it's in the sub basement. It's all concrete. So, but yeah, he does some weird. I don't say they're not weird. They're not weird at all because, like you said, your name typed it came. It typed it up.
Yep.
How did it type it up? Come through the frequency waves. How did it type it up?
Yeah, exactly.
There ain't nobody there typing shit. It's not even programmed. It's saying what it picks up from the box or whatever signal, satellite signal he's using. That's a new device that he's been working on for a while. I
Yeah,
don't know what it's called. I'm not at liberty to say. Yes, Carol. He's a paranormal mad scientist. He was on Discovery and Travel and Warner Brothers. Various different. Well, he had his own show, Ghost Devil's Perch, on Discovery Plus and
it,
Travel Channel.
and it's still on Amazon Prime, so you can go watch.
He, oh, Ghost of Devil's Perch.
Yep.
Yeah, and then he was in Ben Hansen is a good friend of ours, and he was in Ghost of Morgan City with Ben Hansen.
Hmm.
I was in Ghost.
Guys, I think her phone died. It was at 8%. Yep, her phone died. So we're gonna wrap the show up. I thank you guys for joining me tonight and hanging in there tough. 11 of you hung in tough all night. Yeah, her phone died. So thank you guys for joining me tonight, and hope you found some good information with some ghost box. Be sure to reach out to Supernatural Inc. if you want some merchandise for from all the podcasters, any boxes, any equipment that's built by KD. So feel free to reach out to him online. Linda, I will tell him hello. He's actually watching. So thanks, Carol. I will see you guys all next week. Same time, same channel. My guest next week is Vixen Paranormal out of Texas. So we will see you all next week. Stay safe out there. Stay humble. Have a good night, everyone.